If you're an agency owner doing between $10,000 and $20,000 per month, cold outreach should be one of the main client acquisition strategies you focus on. The reason for that is that new clients don't just magically appear out of nowhere. Especially until you have an audience, you need a way to get the attention of strangers and turn a percentage of them into booked appointments. I've helped 128 agencies scale to 7 figures and beyond, and today I'm going to reveal the exact cold email system that's been responsible for millions in revenue. This isn't your typical fluffy guru advice. I'm talking about proven, battle-tested cold outreach method that's worked for agencies across multiple niches. In this video, you'll also get the full outreach script template that you can just take and deploy in your business after this video. So let's get into it. So we've all heard cold outreach doesn't work, right? We've tried it. We beat our head against the wall. We didn't get the results that we were expecting for. I just want to say that assumption is incorrect. Cold outreach works if you work. Right? And you have to take the right approach, and you have to have the right messaging, and you have to have the quality list, but it really is the starting point of your relationship with prospects. Don't get me wrong. I don't think you should be doing cold outreach exclusively as you get to multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, and beyond. You need to be doing other things in conjunction with cold outreach, but it is the starting point, right? There's no way to put out content, to get prospects to raise their hand, to get known, unless you start with a list of prospects and you start to reach out to that prospect list so they start to develop some know, like, trust with you. Eventually, you can start to shift gears and get clients to come to you pre-positioned to buy. But when done correctly, 2 things can happen. First of all, you can get those prospects that are in a buying mode to raise their hand, to schedule in, to become clients. You can also plant the seeds for future relationships. If you compare this as a strategy to like Facebook ads, to doing inbound marketing, the beauty of cold outreach is you can hand select your ideal prospects. It does not cost you paid advertising. It just takes your time and your energy, and it can start to generate results very, very quickly in comparison to doing inbound marketing and putting out content. I think those are all part of the strategy, but that's why at that $10,000 to $30,000 a month range, you want to have cold outreach as part of your approach. There's 3 key things we have to get dialed in order to make cold outreach work. Number 1 is the list. If you don't have the name, email, phone number, social contact details for your prospects, you don't have anything, right? And if you've got bad data, that's even worse, right? We want to make sure we have good quality data. So step 1 is we've got to get the list. Step 2 is we've got to get the messaging correct. Don't just come at them, hey, you want to meet? Hey, I want to generate more sales for you. You have to have an approach that actually makes sense, that actually stands out in their inbox or in their social messenger so that you can get their attention. And then number 3 is we need the delivery mechanism. How are we going to get that message to them so that it actually gets seen, it actually gets received, and it actually gets responded to? I'll start first with the list. There's a variety of ways to get the list within your industry. Super important that the list quality be good, right? If you've got junk data, you're going to get junk outcomes, and that's not what any of us are after. Best list you can get in terms of quality, in terms of accuracy, would be to join the association, right? So whatever niche you're in, there's an association, and members pay to be part of that for continuing education and to be part of the industry. Join that association, gain access to that list. You may have to append the data, but that is your best list because you can draft on affinity, say, hey, look, I'm reaching out not blind, but because I'm part of this association. And you can also really plug into that association at a deeper level. Over time, you can be at their events. You can put on continuing education. So number 1, high quality is the association. Number 2, lots of great resources to buy list data. My favorite today is Coldlytics. It's a service combined with tools, right? So we've all heard of D7 Lead Finder, InfoUSA, all of these other tools that you can use to get data. What's great about Coldlytics is they use those tools. So you say, I want all the plumbers that do over $1 million per year in, Florida, right? You could do that, and their team will run the tools and give you a total list. Now, that list is only fractionally useful. What's useful is when you know the name of the owner, you've got the direct email address for the owner, you've got that contact detail, and that information isn't just publicly accessible online. With some due diligence and some searching and some research, it can be found. And so that's what Coldlytics does, is they actually have somebody look those people up so that you get good quality data so that you can be more effective. I would not recommend building your list off scraped platforms like D7 Lead Finder, predominantly because the email address that's listed there is a junk email that doesn't get responded to, that certainly isn't getting the attention of the owner. That's the first thing. Join the association, sign up for a resource like Coldlytics, get a good quality list. Component number 2 is the message. What are we going to say? How are we going to do it? How are we going to get their attention? I'm going to be talking about that in a minute, but there's 3 key strategies that we found to be very, very effective. The first would be a valued video, either recording a video or sending, hey, look, I had a chance to look at your website. I saw some ideas for improvement. And I've recorded a video with some key insights I want to send to you. You could send a message like that, or actually, if you've got a good list and you feel really confident it's a good fit, you could actually put yourself out there and record that video, create that value in advance. Number 2, probably my favorite, if you have a couple of case studies, a couple of clients that you've knocked it out of the park for in your niche, is your best case study. Really featuring, hey, I got this client, this result, and I'd like to spend 5 minutes with you to show you how we might be able to do the same thing for you. That works really well. The cold outreach strategy that we built plumbing and HVAC SEO on from the beginning was what we called the One in Your Area campaign. And so we started the agency exclusively working with one company in each major market. And so we were reaching out to all of the plumbers in Miami or Tampa or Orlando or whatever the state was or city was and say, hey, look, we're looking to work with one contractor in that market. This is what we do and the results that we've gotten. If that wants to be you, shoot me a reply back, right? Let me know if you're interested. That approach works really well. I'm going to drill down specifically on the best case of your area for this video, but know that those are the 3 strategies we find work best. Delivery mechanism is also very important, right? We got to make sure that our message gets seen. And so the first thing I'll say with delivery mechanism is you want to be going multi-channel. And so when I say cold outreach, your mind typically goes straight to, we're going to email blast. We're going to do, mass emailing to people. And yes, we want to send emails, but the reality is email only gets so much attention. So when I say go multi-channel, yes, we want to email, but we also want to pick up the phone and call. We also want to connect with those prospects on social platforms like Facebook, like LinkedIn, like Instagram, if they happen to be there, at TikTok, because when you connect with them and you engage with their content and they're seeing your emails and they're getting your voicemails, and then you send them a personal message, you're much more likely to get their attention. I think one of the biggest mistakes I see agencies make when they try and do cold outreach and they don't get the results they're after is they're trying to go single channel. They're just trying to send a bunch of emails and it's landing on deaf ears and they're not getting much response. So go multi-channel. Make sure that you've set up whatever email platform you're going to use correctly, right? If you don't have a domain that you're able to send cold email from, if you don't have the email settings properly configured, you're going to struggle. And there's lots of great cold outreach platforms available on the market, from Instantly to Woodpecker, all of these other tools. You can even do this in high level if you set it up correctly, but we want to make sure we have a delivery mechanism so that we can get those messages that can actually get to the inbox, and we can layer some automation so that when they open it, when they reply to it, we can prioritize those opportunities. So let's get into the approach. Again, I talked about the different types of messages that you might want to send out. I really want to drill down on this case study approach because I think for most of us, we have at least one really compelling case study. And if we're running an agency like we think you should, serving one particular market, plumbing companies, roofing companies, AC contractors, whatever niche you happen to serve, you can be very specific with your messaging and make sure that it really resonates with your prospects. The way I like to think about this is we want to pick one client in our niche that we've gotten outsized results for. The thing we're trying to align with is, I recently helped this company with this service generate this outcome, right? And if you can craft a very short, punchy message that captures their attention, that talks about an outcome that they're like, that's very similar to me, that can be very interesting and compelling to your niche. I can walk you through kind of how to think about what that exact client is, what the result was, but I just want to kind of give you the final version of this. And I'll say that email templates and email scripting needs to be innovated. To the extent that they've seen this exact message multiple times, it starts to become less and less effective. And so while I'm going to give you some scripting, I don't want you to think, hey, I'm just going to run this exact message and expect an amazing outcome, right? You have to innovate within your niche, within your particular situation. Subject line that works really well would be their company name or your company plus their company, for the owner's name, just the name of the owner, check this out, name, or question. And you want to have a cold outreach platform that lets you try multiple different subject lines so that it doesn't look like you're just sending the same subject to a bunch of different people. From there, you want to use the case study. My name is Josh. I recently helped Shamrock Plumbing, a business just like yours, increased their revenue by 229%, 397 leads in 1 month. They went from 25,000 to 75,000 with just a couple of small adjustments to their online strategy. And I've got a couple ideas I think would work really well for you too, right? That's compelling, it's very specific, it's very actionable, and it's got a couple of the different components, right? We want the angle, we want the social proof, and then we want the call to action. And you want to have a couple different openings. If you can have an opening subject line that's unique to their situation, spend a little bit of time writing that custom opening makes a big difference in the customization of the messaging. And then the call to action, let me know if you have time for a quick call this week or next week. Let me know if you have time for a call. I'd love to carve out 15 to 25 minutes out of your busy schedule this week or next week to see what we can do for our clients is relevant and potentially helpful for your business. Would you have time this afternoon at 3 p.m.? That's the messaging. I'll share if you type into the comments, email template, I'll share kind of the process that you can use to craft the case study, the opening, the first message, and the call to action. Now, I wouldn't say you just want to single shot one message. You want to sequence these types of things. And so you want to have a bump follow-up. You want to, say, follow up with, hey, record this video with exactly what I think we could do. Let me know if you want to send this over. Like, you want to put that type of messaging in place, and you have to jump on these opportunities when there's a reply, right? If you send a message and you just get a reply and you think that you can reply back, here's the link to my schedule, not with cold outreach, right? You can do that if you're well positioned and they know who you are, but if you're cold reaching people, you've got to be all over those opportunities. You got to follow up, you got to pick up the phone, you got to move those interested prospects forward. And that's why I'd like to use some level of automation so that when they do reply, we drop them onto a pipeline and they get special attention out of the entire database that we happen to be working at that particular moment in time. That's the script. Tips for effectiveness, really to make this work. Number one is personalization, right? You have to have the owner's first name, you have to have the company name, and you need to write a custom first line that you've looked at their website or you've looked at their social media or you've looked at something and you can customize that first line of the message so that it catches their attention. You need to use multiple touch points, multiple emails with follow-ups and bumps, but you also need to be multi-channel, right? We're not just emailing them, we're also finding them on social media, we're connecting with them, we're engaging with their social content to capture their attention, to get the higher level of responsiveness. Regardless of if you use this angle or one of the others, your message needs to be short and concise. We're not looking for a paragraph here. We're looking for a couple of sentences. People are busy, and so it has to be short. The last thing I'll say is use a framework, but innovate the messaging, right? There's no golden message, right? You can use a framework, and that's what I'm sharing with you here are frameworks, but then you have to innovate based on your niche, based on your situation, based on your own expertise and experiences, and figure out what's going to work best for you to get those responses, to get those replies, and to get your prospects' attention. There you have it, the exact cold email system that's generated millions in revenue for me and my clients. But here's the thing, cold email is just one piece of the puzzle. To truly scale your agency, you need a holistic approach that covers client acquisition, delivery, retention, and team building. That's why I put together a free training that covers the exact steps you need to scale your agency to $1 million per year and beyond. In this training, you'll get a 120-page implementation workbook, over 8 hours of video content, and the exact blueprint that we've used to scale agencies to multiple 7 figures. To get access, just click the link in the description. It's 100% free and packed with actionable strategies you can implement right away. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We're releasing new agency scaling content every week. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.